Hi, and welcome to the Finance Hour. I'm your host, Wayne Randall. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my next guest. She's a remarkable woman that has a list of accolades that speak for themselves. She's a Johns Hopkins University graduate with a degree in business management. She's a teacher, coach, motivational speaker, and author of 4 published works. A retiree of the United States Marine Corps, Congress of the United States, and founder and CEO of Self-Development Success. Please let me welcome Fran Allen. How are you doing, Fran?
I'm great, Wayne. How are you?
Oh, I have no idea about how to answer that question at the moment. It took a lot to get to the studio, but I'll tell you about that another time. It's just a pleasure to have you here. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you have so many accomplishments, and I'm thinking about where do we want to start. So let me get to this point. You have 4 works, 4 literary works. Was it always something you wanted to do, to write, or did something happen that inspired you? Or please elaborate on that a little bit.
I never thought of myself as a writer. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was doing some motivational speaking with some friends, and I didn't even call it motivational speaking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They did. I just was running my mouth. Isn't that crazy how we minimize the value of the things that we do? Everybody else can see the worth, but we can't see it because it's us.
You know, I like to say something. Let me interject something on that and expound on that a bit. It's great when you can be around people who see something in you, let's say see greatness in you, that you may not have tapped in on yet.
Yes.
And you ended up doing that anyway.
Yes. Eventually I got there.
Yeah. That's a great thing. That is a great thing. So, from motivational speaking, where did you go from there?
Oh, gosh. It's difficult because my route to success was a bit circuitous. I just kept trying things that I thought I knew how to do. And some things that I didn't even know how to do, but I figured I was smart enough to figure it out as I went along. So I always thought that if I wanted something bad enough and I put my mind to it, I could get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of what I learned about myself when I went into the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I had a lot of skill, I had a lot of ability, I had a lot of potential. I just had to figure out a way to be able to tap into it when I needed to. And the Marine Corps and the leadership skills that I learned while I was there taught me how to do those things, taught me how to go inside myself and be my own rescuer, if you will. And I just would tap into those skills. So if I needed a job and I couldn't find a job, I made a job. I started doing things that I knew how to do that other people would pay me for and bridge the gap until I could find something that was more suitable or more financially stable. I never found myself in a position where I had to depend completely on anybody else as much or more than I depended on myself.
Mm-hmm. And see, I like that because that meant that you were able to step out of whatever comfort zone you were in and launch yourself out into the deep water.
Yes, yes, yes. And it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It wasn't any of those things. But all of those things taught me some things about myself that I had to learn. And I would never have learned if I had not gone through the process of those experiences. So don't You know, don't sleep on the value of going through the process. That's where the blessings that are in the process, that's where they're planted for you. You have to go through the process to find the seeds that God puts in there that become your blessing.
You know, I can really attest to that. I call it going through the fire and coming out on the other side.
Yeah.
Coming out, you know, in a marvelous, pure fashion, say somewhat. And
Yeah.
like you said, you wouldn't have experienced it, and you wouldn't have known what it was about, and you wouldn't have appreciated it as
No.
much because of what you had to go with, what you had to endure.
Yes.
That's what you had to endure. You know, but you know, as I said, as I was introducing you, you do have many, many accomplishments. And, you know, with the books, it seems like you gravitated to the books, and is that where your real passion is?
Um, my real passion is in using the experiences of my life to shed light on how other people can survive, can succeed, can progress through the storms that they go through in their lives. I believe that everybody is either in a storm, going into a storm, or coming out of a storm. At some point in your life, it's like a cycle. You go into a storm, you get in it, you're going through the middle of it, things are really tumultuous, and then you're coming out of it and things, you know, the sun starts to shine and you're in the sunshine for about 10 minutes and then here comes another storm. And that's how life is. And I thought that using the experiences in my life that got me through and out of some of the storms of my life would be useful for some other people. So that's the thing that really drives me, to use those life experiences in such a way that it benefits and it serves other people. The experiences have already served me. That's not enough. It's not enough to just go through things, because if you don't share what you went through, how you got through it, and become the model or the idea that someone else can do that too, then it's really for nothing. You know, those experiences really were not for me. They were to teach me some things that I should use to show and teach someone else.
Someone else. Yeah. I really attest to that because, you know, as I would say to people, just keep living.
Yeah.
You will have some storms in your life. It could be a job setback, health issues, emotional setbacks, crisis, or it could be anything. Death in families, things of that nature. Someone close to you, someone, maybe an extended friend, or extended family. All kinds of things happen to people when we find ourselves going through these trials, and a lot of times people don't know how to pick themselves up and literally dust themselves off.
That's true.
And it has a lot to do with, you know, what you believe in and your constitution and a lot of things, even the network of people you have around you that can help pull you together. You know, I'm going to add to this body of work by interjecting a slide here, and I'd like you to kind of tap in on it a little bit and talk to us about it, okay?
Okay.
You're the only one best that could do that. Well, as you can see, this is some of your literary works. Can you see that slide?
Oh, I do. Yes.
Okay, great. Now, which one of these was your first work?
Oh, my first work was How to Get an A in Life.
Okay.
The black one.
Is that better? I wanted to...
Yes, I can see it better now, yes. So it's How to Get an A in Life was the first book, yes.
And when you say how to get an A in life, are you speaking about passing all the tests or succeeding and overcoming certain challenges in life? Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Fran?
Well, How to Get an A in Life, I came up with that title because one night after I had gone to do some speaking with my group of guys. We were doing this thing called Motivational Mondays, and that was, gosh, 35 years ago or so, many, many, many years ago. And they kept asking me, when are you going to write this book? Why don't you have a book? People want to hear, they want to take a little piece of you away when you speak. You light up a room, and then there's nothing for them to take. There's nothing for them to buy. You need to monetize yourself. And I kept telling them, if God wanted me to write a book, he'd give me a book. Quit bothering me about a book. Again, remember, I never saw myself as a writer.
Right.
And I really didn't bill myself as a motivational speaker at that time, although that's what I was doing. I was motivating, inspiring, and encouraging people. And so many people would tell me, oh, I can't believe how you touched me with the words that you said. And I just say, oh, wow, okay, well, I'm glad that you felt something. And still not giving what I did value like everyone else was giving it value. So I went home that evening, and I couldn't sleep. And I was tossing and turning, and I woke up about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just had all this stuff on my mind. So I booted up my computer. I started typing. And I ended up with like 120 words, and they all started with the letter A. And I thought, okay, all right, Lord, this is bizarre, but okay. So I just started defining the words the way writing out the definition of the words that I believe them to mean to me. Not necessarily the definition that you'd find in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, but they were the words the way I defined them in the Fran dictionary. I'm smart. I could process information. I could figure out what things mean and what they mean to me. So why couldn't I have a definition of a word the same way that Webster or anyone else could have a definition of a word? Well, so I created these definitions of these words. And then I thought, okay, so what does all this stuff have in common? And the thing that they all had in common, honestly, was that all the words began with the letter A. Well, what is an A? An A is the best grade, right?
A is the best grade. A is the first letter in the alphabet.
It's the top.
Yeah.
It's the top. So I thought, okay, so why don't we just try to get an A in life here? Why don't we try to be at the top? Why don't we try to be the best? Why don't we try to, just be the best person we can be, have the greatest understanding, all of those things. So that's how I ended up coming up with the title, How to Get an A in Life.
Well, Fran, I'm there with you on that. So that's that. You have so many works there, so I kind of wanted you to kind of touch on a few of them.
Okay.
We kind of minimalize it a little bit because you did tell us how you came about it, and what was the second? How did the second work come together? How did you birth the second one?
The second one was much more difficult, and it took a lot more time.
And what was the title of the second one?
That was Going Through the Journey. That's the blue one.
Okay.
And I had all these speeches that I had written, but nobody was calling me to speak. And I thought, God, why did you give me all these speeches, but you didn't give me any keynote addresses to do? Nobody's calling. So I decided that I was going to take those speeches and I was going to turn them into a book. And the more I wrote, what I realized is there was a common theme, and it ended up being 13 short stories out of the pages of my life. All the stories that are Going Through the Journey are actual stories. There are things that actually happened. They are the storms and how I got through the storms, and when I came out on the other side, what did I learn? So that was the second book.
So whoever's listening, if you're going through any storms or in one or coming out of one, remember this book here, The Journey.
Yes, Going Through the Journey.
Now,
the third book was Words to Live By. And I wrote Words to Live By almost at the same time I was writing Going Through the Journey. So I had two manuscripts working at the same time. God was giving me stuff for my life, and then God was giving me stuff to encourage other people. Words to Live By is really a collection of over 400 motivational, encouraging, inspiring sayings. And if you open up Words to Live By on any page, on any day, something on those pages will jump out at you, and it'll be relevant to whatever experience you're going through. And I didn't really write it with that in mind, but
with that purpose.
Right, but that is the experience that many people have contacted me and said, you know, I can open your book to any page on any day, and something I'm going through will jump out of the page at me. How did you do that? And I'm like, I didn't do it. I put on the pages what God gave me, and if it helps people in that way, then I think that's a wonderful thing, but I can't take credit for that amazing outcome. That's God. That's God all over it.
Let me say this much, Fran, about your books. Out of the ones you've already written, we're going to get to the latest one. Out of those three you've already told us about, which one was received the most?
Going through the journey.
The journey, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Life is tough.
Yes,
Life is tough. You know, it's difficult. And you hear people, I often hear people say things like, you know, I'll be ear hustling, as they say. And I'll hear people go, oh, I'm living the dream. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you keep on living. And I like to say that a lot of people like to just utter those words as they're walking by on their phone, you know, making it seem like they just got everything. You could have things in order and things could be happening, things could be clicking, or as the young people say, you could be balling.
Yeah.
But when these crises in your life come about, and if, as I said, and I'll reiterate, keep on living.
Keep on living.
Keep on living. It will be at your doorstep one day. You'll be going through one of these storms, either coming through it or coming out of it. And you should be a different person when you come out of it.
That will be true.
Yeah. That brings me to your latest book.
Oh, yeah.
What about the inception of your latest book?
Well, I had a lot of people coming to me asking me, how do I manage to get my kids out of my pocket? And I was like, why are you asking me? My kids are in my pocket too. And I just started, you know, putting in some real thought behind it. You know, how do you get these kids to be more independent and self-sufficient? How do you get these kids to figure out that they already have the ability and the potential to solve the problems or resolve the issues that they're waiting for you to solve or resolve for them? And most of that was really around finance. And so I wanted to write a book that we could give to our kids, but that would help the adults as well, around finance. And not just about money, but using what we know to make the money. You know, we have so many people who have gaps in their finance. They don't make enough money on their job, so they have 2 jobs, or they have 3 jobs, or they work, and once the kids get to a certain age, all the kids got to go to work too.
Right.
You know, so they can close that gap.
Or they kick them out.
Yes, or they kick them out, which in my mind is a way worse resolution than just giving them the money. Honestly,
it's true.
But I got to thinking, and I thought, well, you know, you can use your creativity to create the income that you need. You can turn what you know into dough. And then I thought, there's the title.
It rhymes.
Yeah, you know, so from creativity to creating income, turn what you know into dough was born. And this book is all about honoring your existing knowledge. You don't need to go learn another skill. You already have skills that you're not putting to use. You don't need to go learn some more information, you know, get another job.
Yeah.
You
Tap
don't have
into your inner self.
tap into your inner self and use what God has already given you. You've already learned how to read. Teach somebody else how to read so you can tutor and you can make money. You know how to braid hair. Braid somebody's hair and charge them $30 and you made some money.
Yeah.
You know how to rake leaves. Go clean up somebody's yard. Charge them $40 and you make some money. You know how to wash cars. Wash a car and go, you know, detail somebody's car and make $50. We know what to do. We know what to do. We have to stop being lazy. We don't want to put the action to the skill.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
got
you know,
skills.
Fran, some people, they get complacent.
Well, that's true.
They get complacent. Oh, they think big dreams. And I'll say this was a very wise man said this, and it was Muhammad Ali. He said, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not large enough.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I want you to know something. I have it on good authority that you have another endeavor that you're waiting to birthing to come into place. I heard that you may be leaving us, going abroad. Can you tell us a little bit about that endeavor and what it is you want to accomplish? And please just tell us. I mean, somebody dropped something in my ear, but I'd rather you elaborate a little bit about it.
Well, you've been talking about me, Wayne. You're talking about the BUY campaign. It's Building Young Entrepreneurs. And it's a campaign that's going to be launched in Lagos, Nigeria in October. In the beginning of this year, I was asked to participate in this activity, in this effort. The whole effort is to teach Nigerian children who are amongst the poorest children in the world. That's a fact. And it is about teaching these young people how to start businesses. It really is down to their survival, okay? These kids go to school, they do really well, and then they aren't able to find work. They're not able to find employment. So about 50% of these children who graduate from school have no future because there's no employment to get them to, you know, a career. And we believe that the solution to this problem is to teach them how to start businesses. And it can be as simple as, do you cook, do you bake? Then turn that thing that you love to do into an income-producing endeavor and make the income that you need. So for those people that don't have enough money to pay tuition, if you can write, if you can paint, if you can clean, if you can do any of those things, you have a way to make money. You don't need to go get a job. You can create a job, create your own job.
Right.
And that's what Building Young Entrepreneurs is all about. The other contribution that I made to that campaign was to author the workbook that they are going to use to support this effort throughout the country of Nigeria.
Let's see. That was quite magnanimous of you to do that.
Well, I saw a need. I knew I had the ability and the desire to fulfill the need. I wrote the workbook. I even commissioned another friend of mine who does graphics to create a cover for it. And then I donated it to the campaign. I knew they couldn't afford to pay for the workbook.
Sure.
But the kids needed the workbook anyway. So, you know, God is a good God, and I've been blessed in so many amazing ways. And God gave me that workbook, and I gave it to the kids for the BUY campaign, and we're just going to keep it moving and see how many people we can teach how to start a business and get their lives blessed in the process.
Well, I want you to know something, Fran. I'm going to keep my channels open, and as things move and hopefully progress with this endeavor, we sure want to know all about it.
Well, I will bring back a good report.
Yeah, and I want you to know, Fran, now we're almost approaching that time, but I want to say this much. How can people get in touch with you or get involved in anything that you're doing?
Well, they can always email me at selfdevelopment.success@gmail.com, or they can call me at 443-602-6194. I'll repeat that a little later. Or they can hit my website at www.selfdevelopmentsuccess.com. And we do have a current fundraiser going for the Buy campaign on my website. So you can go to, well, first you should go to the Buy website so you can know what you're donating to.
Sure.
It's www.byebuy.com, com.ng. That's www.bye.com.ng. And then you can go to the donation page after you've checked out the site to see what it's really all about. And then the other books that I have, those are available on my website, again, www.selfdevelopmentsuccess.com. And I'm available to speak, to motivate, to inspire, to encourage. And I don't really have a particular market. I have something for everybody.
Well,
Men,
you know what? I'd like to say thank you for saying that, Fran, because we're not trying to departmentalize you and put you in a box.
Right,
You know,
right.
Well, you can reach the masses, and whose ever address or street this lands on, or ear it touches, or sees you. I hope they documented this. This is a very remarkable industrialist woman. I'm glad to have met her. She's part of the National Black Unity News. She's an author there too. I forgot to put that in there, but that's why I'm putting it in there now.
Yes.
So when you pick up the National Black Unity News, you will see her face in it and a lot of her accomplishments. So please document everything that she said, and we will definitely have Fran back on here as she goes further into her journey, and you'll keep us up to date, won't you, Fran?
Yes, I certainly will, Wayne. And thanks again for having me on your cast. I really enjoyed myself.
Well, you know, we definitely wanted to get you on the Finance Hour because you know, people need to know about people like you and what they're doing in the community. It was a pleasure having you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Wayne.
Okay. Thank you, Fran.
Hi, I'm Fran Allen. Like you, I'm a leader, motivator, teacher, and confidant. I'm also a personal and professional development expert who guides people desiring to unleash innovative approaches to their personal growth. I'm genuine and no nonsense in delivery with a bit of humor to meet people where they are. For more than 20 years, I've used my experience to motivate and encourage people, and I'll do the same for you. I've trained and coached in the military, corporate, government, and academic sectors. I earned a bachelor's degree in business management from Johns Hopkins University, served honorably in the United States Marine Corps, enjoyed a career of public service in the federal government, and became the owner and CEO of Self-Development Success for the past 15 years, speaking, presenting, and authoring 4 self-help books. Just one call brings the cavalry, and it's a sure bet if you do nothing, nothing is what you get. So let me help you get out of your own way. 443-602-6194.
Hi, and welcome to the Finance Hour. I'm your host, Wayne Randall. My next guest is a lady that wears many hats. She's a military veteran of 12 years. She's a co-host of Good Life Gospel Show that comes on Saturday mornings between 9 and 11, affiliate of Awesome God Radio. If that's not enough, she's an active member in a community outreach and prayer team too. So without any other further ado, please let me welcome Katrina Wilson. How you doing, Katrina?
I am well. I am well. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you.
I have it on good authority. It was a bit of a struggle.
Right. It was.
My back channels are telling me that, and you viewers out there, you'll find out what that is later.
Right. It's been something of a challenge.
Yeah, but you know what? For those who believe, we just hang in there until we
Right.
can persevere to get through, because this is going to mean, it means a lot to us, but it's going to mean more to those who are going to take it in and receive it and get something from it.
Excellent. I believe it.
You know, you have many things that you've accomplished, so, you know, I have a whole gamut of things I can go in and talk to you about. But tell us a little bit about what you do with Gospel Life to Gospel Life show on Saturday, and how is, you know, how are the people receiving that?
Awesome. Okay. I am actually a co-host, a member of a great team on the Good Life Gospel Show, which airs every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on the Awesome God radio station, which is an app. There are various shows that come on our radio station, and it is all gospel, premiering mostly or premiering, highlighting a lot of rap and hip hop gospel artists due to the love of music, because most of us pretty much that are on the show are like 80s babies, you know, when rap used to be, you know, have messages of positivity and things like that. So we truly have come on board with the whole God is music. You can't put God in a box. He's just music. Everything that has anything to do with sound, it's of God. It's just what you do with it and how you use it. But the Good Life Gospel Show, which I'm a co-host of, there are 4 or 5 of us. Our CEO, Antoine Jefferson, this is his love and his brainchild, and we're so excited that he accepted and was obedient to God in this vision that he had for a radio station. And we all were like, what? Okay. And we kind of just went with the flow of what he envisioned and how God laid it on his heart to bring about this radio station. And man, it has been an awesome, awesome venture. Me, myself, I have been a part of Awesome God Radio, Good Life Gospel Show for about 3 years. But the show, we just celebrated an anniversary, and please forgive me, I want to say 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
For the station. Don't quote me. People, don't quote me. But it is it has been awesome. The first year that we were on, no, it's not that long. Man, I'm sorry, I'm bad with that. But the first year that we were on as a station, we were nominated for a Stellar. So that was super awesome. A Stellar Award.
That really brought up your confidence level that you were on the right path.
Amen. Yes, definitely.
Doing the right thing, a positive thing that we need more of, especially in this city.
Yes.
We need not say any more about that, but we won't talk about that. We're talking about the positive. This is what this is all about to do in public.
Okay, right.
This lady, if you have not tuned in on Saturdays. It's Katrina said from 9 to 11, and hear what those guys are up to. I'll be keeping my ear to the ground and seeing what's going on.
Yes, definitely tune in. We invite you and everyone else. Please tune in.
Tell us a little bit about how did you transition from after you came out of the military into all of these dynamic endeavors that you got into? Was it somebody that led you, the Spirit, or were you in church? Or please expand.
You know, let me see. Wow, it's so much. But what I can say is I grew up in church. I grew up going to church like every night and singing on a choir, ushering, you know, and having duties and responsibilities in church. When church was, and not to say that there aren't any family-oriented, but, you know, the staple was family. We did everything together. We would go to picnics together, have dinner at each other's houses, and things like that. It was very close knit. So when I went to the military, that was hard, and I was one of like the older people that went, because I didn't go right out of high school. I waited, I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 years, and then I joined the United States Air Force, and I was active duty for 12 years, and some change, and I was separated medically due to a mini stroke that we just stumbled upon that I had, and I had no idea. I was just looking very grave one day, and people had concerns and urged me to go to the doctor. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I love what I did in the military, and the servitude, the servitude of it all. It was just awesome. It allowed me to volunteer at many places. The military really highlights, volunteerism, and let alone we're serving our country, but it also ushers in you the want and the desire to help others. So that's where I'll say I kind of honed in on that serving in the community and helping others, just wanting to uplift others and encourage others. Came predominantly, I would say, Mom, don't kill me, from the United States military. I love my background. There were some hard times, don't get me wrong, but we traveled a great deal. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. Excuse me, I have a cold. I'm so sorry. I am from, my husband and I are.
I'm sure the viewing public will forgive you.
Forgive me for wiping my nose.
They'll forgive you. You have a story, a very compelling story. You're a woman. You came out of the military. There are some men who haven't been in the military.
Amen.
We are the commander-in-chief, and we know who that is. He hasn't been in the military and talks down about some people who have served, even some people who have been captured.
Right. I do not understand that, but anyway.
We won't give him any. That's why I said I won't even mention his name.
Right. We'll save that for a separate show, because that's definitely something to talk about.
But I want to say this much. It's great to have you here. I mean, love your energy, your spunk, your grit. I remember when I first met you, and you and my friend, partner, Rico Crawley, introduced me to you, and he said,
yes, sir,
you were down, and you were in a service capacity of working with God's given hands. I mean, you obviously know that's a very humbling experience to be in. People are deprived; they're at the lowest of the low. And many people won't even want to come in touch with people like that, even from 1 foot to 2 feet away. So to go down there and, come out of your comfort zone wherever you live or wherever you are, your car, your house, or your offices, to come down to help these people. It is a humbling experience, but it says a lot about who you are.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Only God.
That's why I said that's what this is all about. This is
only God.
This message, because anybody listening to us will be able to receive it. This is bigger than us. What you do on Saturday, and the viewing people to hear you and see you, to get something from it. And as they say, you go to a service or whatever, you should get something, a practical application, and take it and use it and apply it to your life. It's just like I've been waiting. We've been trying to connect to get together, and it's been some time. But now we're here. Hopefully, all will go well with this. What I'm going to do at this moment, I'm going to bring in some slides, and I'm going to let you walk us through them. Okay? Tell us a little bit.
Wow. Okay. Great.
A little bit about these slides, which only you can do. So. Let's take a look at this first one.
Okay.
Tell me when you see it. Everything is a process, so I have to wait for this to come up.
Okay. I have this little blocker thing that came up, so I apologize. It's probably there. I don't see it yet.
Let's go to this one. For some reason that particular slide didn't open, so I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, so do you see that?
I cannot. I'm sorry. There's this security alert on here. Can you describe it to me?
Okay, what it is it looks like you're wearing some white beads. Some white beads around your neck, and you look like a nice pink color. It's short, obviously, and looks like you have on a winter coat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I can see the picture, and you described it very well. Thank you.
What was that occasion about?
I was taking pictures. I am a paparazzi jewelry consultant as well, Trina's Gems and Treasures. And I was taking pictures, just showcasing this beautiful necklace that I had in stock, which went rather quickly. And I was just, styling and showing off the jewels. That's it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Let me go to the next one. Do you see this one?
Yes, and that's the same thing. I was at an event, actually.
Great.
I was at an event over here in Windsor Mill, and that was my paparazzi table. I was just set up, selling my jewelry, talking about paparazzi. Trina's Gems and Treasures. So check it out, everyone. TrinasGemsandTreasures.com. Like me on Facebook.
Write that down. Write that down.
Right.
Write that down. Write that down. Great, Catherine. You're going to go and tell us about this next one.
Okay. Wow. And this was the night that I was honored with a few other guests by Women in Business International.
Right.
And it was actually the night that I met you as well.
Yeah. Thank you for putting that in there.
That was in June. Yep, I think June or July.
That was a while back.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember exactly what you had on, but thank you for enlightening me. So,
right.
Thank you for that.
This was at that event.
Okay. Great. And this brings us to this iconic symbol here.
Yes, our marquee for the Good Life Gospel Show, inspiring the world, and that's what we set out to do. That's what God has placed in us, and each and every one of us. We have our very separate and busy lives of servitude to our communities, and to our families and things like that. So, and we come together and bring all of our gifts together, and it's just an awesome thing when we come on Saturday, and even when we're collabing throughout the week. It's just awesome. So we love, this is the Good Life Gospel Show marquee, and every time I see it, it just gives me good vibes. It just gives me good vibes. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Good Life Gospel Show. Tune in every Saturday morning, 9 to 11.
See, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
It's all about being passionate about something that you are doing.
Yes.
About being passionate about something that you are doing, and that's what this is all about. I'm glad you shared that with us, and we're going to switch us back. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, because reviewing people needed, and myself needed you to tell us about some of those slides and about those pictures.
Yeah.
And what they commemorated, what they were about. And it surprised me, because I couldn't remember when I met you where you were wearing lavender and you were. So.
Right. Mr. Randall, because you do so much. You're very active. You're very active yourself, and you meet so many different people, I can imagine. So I really appreciate you reaching out to me, and this connection here. This is awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for acknowledging that I do have a lot on my plate.
Yes.
It's on the regular job too. It can be very exhausting and it's quite an arduous task. It really is. There's days. That's why I send out those scheduling links so people can pick the days that kind of coincide with the time that's free for me. And that scheduling link is my good. That's like my assistant. So I send you that. But it was good when you got back to me because we have been trying to pull this together, and people just don't understand how difficult it can be. It's not just about us just talking. It's we have to pull it together. We got to get the information together. So when we get the information together, we have something to collaborate about, and that's part of the commentary. Along with everything else we're talking about,
Now, one more thing, I don't think I share with you. I am a social worker. I don't have my license as of yet, but that's just who I am. That's just who I am. And my everyday work is with the Regeneration Project, LLC, and I'm a family care coordinator for them. So that's what I do, every day. That's my everyday thing, going into homes and sitting with children and their families, trying to hash out some things and putting things into place, to better help the atmosphere.
From what you're telling me, it sounds like you found your passion. Your passion is serving.
Yes, very much so.
Any capacity that you find yourself in. I mean, here you tell me a social worker, doesn't matter about the license. Eventually you'll get that. But God sees what you're doing on a higher level in your lives of people. Because some people may go, oh, that's the lady that helped me such and such and such. She's on the show.
Right.
And then you get that back, and that's a positive thing. It's just all positive energy. And we need more of that, not in just this city, this whole country, this world needs that.
Definitely.
And this is why we take the time to do these kind of venues, because people need to see that if people care enough to do them, to get those kind of words out. As us at the National Black Unity News, that's what that whole paper is all about. It's a business-oriented solutions periodical.
Okay.
That's what it's about. And my next article will be coming out in October. I'm not going to give up what it's going to say, but I'll let you know about it when it comes out. It'll be some
awesome. I look forward to it.
Early October, and I'll send you the link. It's online, and then be in different places. And so the paper's doing very, very well. But
awesome.
That's why we're glad to have you a part of our community, because this is going to go out after we get it all together. And
I appreciate it.
Other shows.
If I could get back to that question though, the transition here, the transition from active duty. The actual transition was really tough, but God led us back here. He led us back to our hometown, and we love Baltimore City. My husband is a server as well and a visionary, so I can't wait for his visions to get moving, get some traction. But he's definitely in the planning mode, and we look to serving the community in a big capacity. That's why we feel like it's been so tough for us, because we were sent here on a mission. We were sent here on a mission, and I'm telling you, we've had everything to keep us back. But we're staying focused and standing strong. And God sent us back this way about in 2013, I want to say. We were the closest we had been to Baltimore or to Maryland was in Virginia. We had kind of traveled around and lived abroad for all of my military career until the last my last 2 tours. I was in Virginia, and when praying about what to do next, where we're going to go. I mean, because I was medically separated, it was kind of it wasn't something that we knew was going to happen. I mean, we know it when I have to go before the board and things like that. But I was in my expiration date of active duty as well. Anyway, so during that time, it was quite difficult. It was quite difficult. Yeah, that transition from active duty to civilian life. It felt like it came at a cost, and I believe that I can speak to those who have went that route. Everything that God does is for a reason. Everything that He allows, I'll say, not does, but that He allows, is for a reason. So we often look back on those times and anything that we're facing, and we do understand that God has His hand in everything, that we're blessed, and that He's guiding us and He's protecting us, and He's kept us this far, and we will not stop. So I'm so thankful. Yeah. So I just wanted to touch base back on that. God led us back here, back home.
I can attest to that. Your steps were ordered.
Amen. Yes, they were.
But I want to say, Katrina, it's been great having you, but our time is running near.
Okay.
Let me say to you, say this much. Please tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can hear what you're doing, what you're doing. You have it.
Awesome. I am on Awesome God Radio, Good Life Gospel Show every Saturday morning from 9 to 11. I can be reached at Trina W at awesomegodradio.com. Download the Awesome God Radio app today. I am a paparazzi consultant and can be reached at TrinasGemsandTreasures.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and all of those handles, TrinasGemsandTreasures.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, Kat Wilson, and I've started my Village Baltimore that I spoke about that night at the event. I'm taking steps. I'm taking steps to build that up, but it's all about inspiring and empowering people. So visit follow my Village Baltimore Instagram page for like monumentous type of inspiration and empowerment. I try to give as much as I can.
It's not enough of that going around, and we're so glad to have you. We bless you.
Thank you.
In your journey, and wish you continued success. And please tell me, will you come back on the Finance Hour?
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me so very much. You do not know.
Yeah. Well, the door is open, so as things progress with you and other highlights, we'd sure like to have you back. We're going to take it right, okay? Okay.
Have a great one.
Same to you.
Thanks for watching our podcast. If you would like to participate in our future podcasts as a guest, or if you would like to promote your business or service, contact Wayne Randall at 443-726-6693. Also visit our website at www.yourfinanceinfo.com. This is a TNBUN production.